Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. So we've got to do a little bit of work to the foundation of the sawmill because we're getting ready to mill the biggest log we've ever put on it before. It's about a 4,500 pound white oak log. And the way we set this up when we first got it was kind of a quick and temporary setup. And I don't think it's going to go well if we try to put that heavy of a log on it the way it's set up right now. Let me show you what I mean. So we got this sawmill back in August of 2021, which was right when we were up to our eyeballs and digging dirt for the pond. And when this showed up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, I wasn't really set up at all for it. I hopped in the skid steer real quick and just tried to level out a little bit of a pad because this is on a slope right here. So you can see I dug into the hillside there, tried to level it as best as I could, but I didn't get the transit out or anything. There wasn't time. And we didn't really even have any good footers to put the legs of the sawmill on. So we just had these couple of blocks here that we put them on. And as you can see over time, they've shifted and moved and sunk down into the ground. This one over here is actually falling off of that block that we put it on. So before we go ahead and put a big heavy block or a big heavy log on this sawmill, I want to get this centered up and get it much more stable than it is right now. So when Doug and I were back in the woods cutting that white oak for those 6x6 beams, we grabbed a couple pieces that would have been good for nothing but firewood, brought those out, made sure they were at least 4 foot long. And as you can see, just squared up 2 sides of them. And that way on the sawmill here, instead of having each leg on an individual block, we'll have 2 legs on 1 block going all the way across. That'll sturdy that up a lot more and keeping those legs from wanting to wander off of that block. The other thing is too, once we get that 1 solid block on there, we'll go ahead and lag bolt each of these feet into the block. So we ended up deciding we wanted to move the mill out from that muddy situation we had up there where it was before. Now we've got it sitting down here back behind the pond dam. And when we were constructing the pond, we had already scraped all the topsoil out of here. So if you look down at the ground, this is all already rocky sub-base material. So we won't be fighting the mud sitting here. But we've got the mill moved down here. We've got it all leveled up. We've got our nice big beams underneath here that are squared off on 2 sides. Now we're just gonna go ahead and drill out some pilot holes and put some lag bolts in here so that these feet aren't gonna wanna wander off this block like they were before. I need to stick out a little bit, right? Boom down?
My guess is that log's going to want to roll towards the dam because of the oval shape of it right now.
Okay.
So go ahead and set it down.
I think that auto idle must have released a little hydraulic pressure. I don't know. All right, so as you guys can see, this log is too big to get the clamps up around it. So what we're doing is we're adding shims in, and the weight of this log is gonna hold itself in place. I really don't think that the saw blade coming through sideways is gonna wanna push it, but we are shimming it just in case. But yeah, until we get some of the slabs off of it and get some weight off of it, this is how we're gonna go ahead and shim it up. This mill says it'll do up to a 40-inch diameter log, and we are testing every bit of that. I think I measured on the one end, this log was 39 inches in diameter.
All right, so I think we're all secure now. You can see here, looking down the side of this, we're gonna have to trim the edges just a little bit. So let's go give a look now and see if we're gonna make it.
I think we should be good. Just barely.
You like that?
I do. Let's go ahead and fire the mill up. So this is the largest log that we've ever done on this machine here. It's a 39-inch white oak. We freshly greased the machine and we just got it moved into place. And as you saw earlier, we got it all squared up, trimmed out so that it's nice and stable so that we can mill a log this heavy. So let's go ahead and fire it up and see how it goes. Waving up and down could have anything to do with the way it's coming into the lead-in, because there's such a steep angle coming in here versus coming in on a straighter angle. I don't know. I almost kind of want to try a fresh blade and see if maybe it's the blade. Maybe if there's any of you guys out there running a sawmill might know, but what he's talking about is this blade is, and I think I showed you, it's rising up and down and up and down, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the blade or whether it's just this angle of the lead-in is pushing it up and then it decides to drop back down. Do you have any more blades? You'd want to give one of them a try and do one more slab and see what happens. Yeah, let's try a fresh blade and see if that fixes the problem. Alrighty, we'll be back. So I wanted to show you guys, this is the old blade here, and this is the new blade that we're going to put on. And what I think is going to help us is the fact that this new blade, this one is designed specifically to be a little bit wider, and I think that's going to help it track better through these bigger logs, because the more width you have from the teeth to the back is going to keep it from having the ability to go up and down. So we're going to try that and see if that fixes our problem. Now, is this the first time you've changed the blade since you've gotten the sawmill? This is the original blade from when we got it. So this is the first time we've changed it. It's probably due to be sharpened or replaced. So I'm hoping between having this be sharp and having this be a thicker banded blade, we'll be able to start cutting some straight slabs here. All right, so we got the new blade on. We're gonna go ahead and make another pass, and hopefully our problem is fixed. And then we can go about turning this log, pulling it off the mill, flipping it around, and starting to get the other corners or slabs off the outside. Holy cow, that's cutting a lot better. I didn't realize how dull that blade was until you put a fresh one on. That literally was night and day difference, just cutting through it like butter. I'll be really curious. We put a level on this one. I bet you it's flat. So let's go ahead and pull this back, pull the slab off, and see what it looks like. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and stick the level on here now. That is perfect. So luckily that was an easy fix, easy solution. Just need to swap out the blades and we can go ahead and finish this log up now. Yeah. All right, so we ended up having to call it quits yesterday. We started running out of daylight, but before we went up, we got the log off the mill just because I didn't want it sitting on the mill with all that weight overnight. I don't think it would have hurt anything, but I know for sure that it wasn't gonna hurt anything sitting on the ground over here. But one thing I can say is after we put that new blade on there, it definitely started cutting a lot straighter, and now we're getting some really nice looking stuff. If you look, our first live edge slab over here is nothing short of beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and roll this log over, put it face down, and take a couple live edge slabs off the other side, and then we'll go ahead and just get it all squared up and start taking beams out of the center. there we go. That big 39-inch white oak log got milled into 2 giant live edge slabs, 2 inches thick. And then we got 11 6x6s, 1 2x6, and then we had a couple scrap pieces here that are only about a 1/2 inch thick. I don't know if we'll save those for anything or not. But yeah, the excavator, we could not have done that log without the excavator. But you have to be really careful because the hydraulics are so powerful, this machine is so heavy, you could really damage this sawmill in a hurry. As you saw at one point, we did end up dropping the log. Thankfully, it was only about 3 inches high when we did that. But if you had that hung up in the air a foot or two, you'd probably start crushing some things on this sawmill. Now, I've only had the excavator for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I can tell you there's one thing I don't like about it already that I'm maybe thinking about replacing, and it is the hydraulic thumb on here. There's a combination of 2 things. One, the thumb is about 6 inches too long, so it doesn't mate up really well with the teeth on the bucket. And the second thing is that there's really no hook on this thumb. It's really flat all the way here just until the very end, and so it makes pinching things in between those very difficult. I mean, smaller logs is not a problem, but when you get big logs like what we were just handling, it makes it kind of dangerous because it can fall out pretty easy. So yeah, guys, I think we maxed out all 3 pieces of equipment today. The excavator's lifting capacity, the sawmill's cutting capacity at 40 inches, and neighbor Doug's helping capacity. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this one, give me a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.